kick to you again?
I feel like this is the week to do it.
Why is that?
Big rivalry, a lot of confidence, a lot of pride.
Right? Bragging rights, right?
Sure.
Where were you when the ASU Oregon State game came to a close?
Where was I? I was at a friend's house celebrating a birthday. I was watching it. It was a good game, and I low-key missed the very end. So I was upset about that, but it was for a friend's birthday.
So you're just watching out of the corner of your eye, TV's on, no volume or something?
Nah, volume was on. Okay. I was for the majority when it went to halftime and kind of lost it, trying to watch other games and stuff like that. So it was a little.
I mean, did you feel like since the implications of it, did you feel pretty excited when you found the final score came out?
I was excited, but that's at the end of the day, we still have 2 more games, so it's our next opponent that we're worried about, and nothing more than that.
How do you size up USC?
They have a lot of good players. They have a lot of good ability. They have an experienced quarterback. They have a coaching staff that in the past we've had problems with. So they're a good team, well coached, and we're just looking to do our best.
What have you seen in Nelson Agholor?
Explosive, fast. So he's elusive. He's a good player. Another Marquise Lee, you can put him in that category, and he's done a good job this year taking that lead role and doing his thing with it.
He's been sort of lining up all over the place. Do you expect to follow him, or are you going to stay with your normal spot? Or
you know, I've moved around a lot this whole year as well, so they really don't know where we're going to be lining up this year. So I'm at this week, so it's going to be a good game. Who's going to be where?
Everyone has been pretty diplomatic when we ask them about the rivalry. Is that something that they've kind of talked to you guys about, focusing on the game ahead and not getting caught up in all that?
Yeah, we're just focused on the game, being at the best when our best is required, and this is a little at our best when our best is required.
What kind of strides do you think the defense has made in the last few weeks, and what has gone into that other than cutting down the penalties?
We're just being consistent. Just keep doing our jobs, not worried about other people's jobs, and just having the mentality that's coming our way every time, especially in the secondary end. So we want to stay on top and just do what we're supposed to be doing.
Why do you think that creeped into your game, or the team's game earlier in the season? Worried about other people's jobs and kind of not focusing in. Why do you think that happened?
As we were just looking at the bigger picture way too early. We really wanted to have that national championship contend, and it overwhelmed us at a point. And so we really just committed to what we were supposed to be doing, and it showed through our off training that we were having struggles doing it in the spring, changing our defense in the front end, and then we overcompensated in the back, and then it all works together. So we just found that we could trust each other. That's all it comes down to.
I mean, do you think? And a lot of people said this early in the season when the team wasn't playing like everybody thought it would. That handling the hype was going to be a bit of a problem. When you look back now, do you think it was?
Maybe individually, each person thinking about it and being maybe a focal point, sort of. But then we weren't thinking of it's just all about us. It's all about how good we prepare, how good we go at each other, and it'll be easy on game day.
How do you keep from looking at the big picture again like you were earlier this season, especially now that you guys are kind of creeping up those rankings again?
Exactly, because now that's what we've been doing. Why change what we've been doing now that has been working? It doesn't matter about who we've been playing, even though you guys might look at the lighter half, but on the inside looking out, Pac-12 is one of the best in the nation for conferences. And it's a challenge every week. You see teams in the SEC, it happens here as well, non-ranked opponents beating ranked opponents. So it's every week you come in, prepare the best you can, and you have to worry about yourselves. Don't worry about the team. You don't know what they're doing in practice. So you just have an idea off of film, and then you do your best from there.
You guys win the game last year. You're in the tunnel in the Coliseum. Coach Morris says you own this town. What was that moment like for the team?
It was fun just because of the hype for the game, and I enjoyed that game. That was my first USC UCLA rivalry game, and so I was just hyped off of that alone, and how well we did in that game. So I'm not even worried about that. I'm just worried about putting another great performance out on the field and just displaying my talent.
When you have a great return, how often does it happen the way you visualized it? How often does it happen, this kind of things happening and you just react to them? And has you ever had one where you kind of looked at it during the week and said, okay, this is what's going to happen on this return, and it actually worked out that way?
Yeah, a few times. Almost every time I visualize something, it ends up happening as I see it. Even on the Washington return at the end of the game, when number 10 hit me, I kind of like seen him over there before. I didn't know exactly who had him, but I was like, okay, that's the only person I need to worry about, really. And then he ended up hitting me, and I was like, oh, how ironic that happened. One of the biggest returns that happened exactly how it happened versus Utah, when we got the penalty on it. Unfortunately, they refs taking my long returns away. But that return actually happened exactly how in practice, even though they only gave me one on kickoff return, it happened exactly.
So when you catch the ball, sometimes you're thinking, if I can beat those two guys way down there, I'm going to break this. I mean, you're not really worried too much about what's coming.
Yeah, even so, if these guys get certain blocks, okay, yeah, this is going to go for a big return.
You talk about the refs. USC and UCLA are two of the 10 most penalized teams in the FBS. How important is it going to be just controlling your emotions at the beginning of the game, knowing Pac-12 ref tendencies?
Forget the Pac-12 ref tendencies, knowing our own tendencies. We get very hyped at the beginning of the game. We're very active. We like to talk. And so that's going to be a goal. We've been doing a lot better job these past few weeks, but now there's another big game coming up, like the Oregon game, like the other stuff. We just got to make sure me and Miles specifically keep our cool. And I'll be making sure that Miles keeps us cool. But no, it's a big game. It's going to be rowdy. It's a rivalry game. And so it is what it is. And we'll do our best and keep it under control with the penalties.
Do you think other teams, knowing how emotional you guys are, provoke you sometimes, try to get you out of your game?
I think that is a point of reference. They might not necessarily see it as players, but coaches do. And then they know, okay, you can get under his skin, especially how they got me last year, got me out of characteristics by accidentally throwing an open jam. And so we just got to make sure we stay cool, but stay energized, because it is going to be a very fun game. And so to have that energy will give us what we need for those change of momentum.